Picture this. It's a Thursday afternoon. You're sorting through a pile of envelopes on your kitchen counter. Bills, junk mail, the usual noise. Then you spot it. An official envelope with a government seal in the corner. Your stomach tightens for a split second before you tear it open. A check slides out onto the counter. $3,200. Your tax refund. You just stare at it for a moment. Then the grin spreads. You pull out your phone and start firing off texts. Hey, dinner's on me Saturday. Don't argue. You open a travel app and start browsing flights to New Orleans. Jazz, beignets, maybe a rooftop bar. You remember that watch you walked past 3 times at the mall, telling yourself, maybe someday. Today feels like someday. Now freeze. Rewind. 8 months. It's another Thursday. You're at your desk and your direct deposit notification pops up. Same amount, $3,200. Your regular paycheck. Do you text anyone? Do you open a travel app? No. You log into your bank, move rent to checking, pay down your utilities, grab groceries on the way home. You feel responsible, grounded, maybe even a little virtuous. Here's the uncomfortable question. Those 2 deposits, the paycheck and the refund, are mathematically identical. They spend the same. They save the same. They invest the same. But your brain filed them under completely different categories. One felt like obligation money, the other felt like found money. And that invisible filing system is quietly destroying your financial future. Here's the foundational issue. Money is fungible. That's an economics term that simply means every dollar is interchangeable with every other dollar. A $20 bill doesn't know how it got into your wallet. It doesn't know whether you woke up at 5 a.m. to earn it or found it wedged between couch cushions. It buys exactly the same cup of coffee either way. But your brain assigns what I call a source code to every dollar you receive. Money that came through effort, long hours, difficult clients, physical labor, feels heavy. You guard it. You deliberate before spending it. But money that arrives unexpectedly feels weightless. It carries no memory of sacrifice, so parting with it produces almost no psychological pain. This is why people blow windfalls, not because they're irresponsible, but because their brain genuinely treats those dollars differently than earned income. The rational mind says a dollar is a dollar, but the emotional brain says, but this one was free. And that emotional brain wins almost every time unless you consciously intervene. The real story behind your tax refund is not a bonus. It is not a reward. It is not the government being generous. It is your own money being returned to you, money you overpaid throughout the year in small increments from every paycheck. You essentially handed the government an interest-free loan for 12 months. They held your capital, earned on it, and handed it back to you with a straight face and zero apology. Think about your friend Marcus. Smart guy. Good job. If Marcus borrowed $3,000 from you in January and paid you back the exact same $3,000 the following January, no interest, no acknowledgement of the favor, you wouldn't be celebrating, you'd be quietly annoyed. But when the government pulls the exact same move, we celebrate. We treat the envelope like a birthday card stuffed with cash from a generous aunt. Why? Because the withholding system makes it invisible. The money leaves before you ever see it, so when it comes back, it feels like new money. It feels like a gift from a faceless institution, and gifts in our mental accounting system are filed under spend freely. The rationalization people use is, if I hadn't withheld it, I would have spent it anyway. I want you to sit with what that sentence actually means. It means you don't trust yourself to manage your own income responsibly. You're using the IRS as a financial babysitter, and that babysitter is charging you a fee in the form of lost investment returns and inflation erosion. That's not a saving strategy. That's learned helplessness with a W-2 attached. There's a concept in behavioral economics called the house money effect. It comes from casino research. You walk in with $200 of your own cash. You win another $200 at the blackjack table. You pocket your original stake and play on with the winnings. Suddenly, your betting changes. You go bigger. You take risks you'd never take with your real money. because in your mental ledger, you've already broken even. Except it is a real loss. The moment those chips are in your hands, that money belongs to you. There's no house money. There's just your money and the choice of what to do with it. A colleague of mine, call her Dana, got a $4,000 work bonus last spring. She had $6,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest. She also had a leaky bathroom that needed maybe $800 in repairs. Guess what happened to the bonus? New laptop, a long weekend in Savannah, a few nice dinners. The credit card balance barely moved. The bathroom still has a slow drip. Dana isn't foolish. She holds a graduate degree, she's good at her job, but that bonus got filed under house money the moment HR processed it. It felt like extra, and extra money is spending money. That's the mental accounting trap in action. If Dana had redirected that $4,000 toward her credit card, she would have saved over $800 in annual interest charges alone. If she had invested it in a tax-advantaged account, the compounding trajectory over 3 decades could have turned that one decision into something extraordinary. Instead, that money is now a memory of a decent weekend and a laptop that'll be outdated in 3 years. She traded a long-term asset for short-term comfort. Not because she's bad with money, but because her brain categorized the bonus as disposable before she had a chance to think clearly. The invisible fire. Here's another pattern I see constantly. Someone has $12,000 sitting in a savings account, earning maybe 0.4% annually. They also carry $11,000 in credit card debt at 24% interest. They refuse to use the savings to pay off the debt. Ask them why, and they'll say, "That's my emergency fund. I need to feel secure." I understand the emotional logic. I do. Seeing that savings balance is psychologically comforting. It signals safety, stability, adulthood. But the math is a catastrophe. They're paying roughly $2,640 per year in interest, while their savings earns maybe $48. They're losing over $2,500 annually for the emotional experience of feeling like they have a cushion. Their mental accounting has created 2 separate buckets, the safety bucket and the debt bucket, and it will not allow them to see those buckets as part of a single net worth picture. Net worth is one number, assets minus liabilities. The label on the bucket doesn't change the math. If the interest rate on your debt exceeds the return on your savings, and it almost always does, you are standing in a house that is on fire while admiring the view from your window. The points illusion. One more trap worth naming: credit card rewards programs. These are mental accounting, weaponized and monetized by financial institutions. You earn points for spending. Those points accumulate in a separate mental category labeled free travel or free stuff. The spending that generated those points sits in a completely different mental category labeled bills. You never connect them. You feel like you're getting something for nothing. The data tells a different story. People who optimize for points consistently spend more than people who use straightforward cash or debit. The reward feels decoupled from the cost. The points aren't a bonus, they're a rebate on your own overspending. And you're paying a premium for the privilege of receiving that rebate. First, relabel every windfall. The moment unexpected money arrives, a refund, a bonus, an inheritance, a cash gift, immediately reframe it in your mind. Tell yourself, I worked 2 months for this. Attach a story of effort to the money. Imagine the commute. Imagine the meetings. Imagine the late nights. By mentally connecting the windfall to labor, you activate the same protective instincts you apply to your regular paycheck. You become appropriately careful rather than recklessly celebratory. Second, the 72-hour rule. When unexpected money hits your account, do nothing for 3 days. Don't transfer it, don't spend it mentally, don't open shopping apps. The initial dopamine surge, what I call the windfall high, typically fades within 48 to 72 hours. Once it fades, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. Then you make the decision. You look at your financial priorities in order. High-interest debt first, emergency fund second, retirement contributions third, everything else after that. Third, eliminate the windfall entirely. If you consistently receive a large tax refund, go to your HR department and update your withholding form. Adjust it so that you receive roughly zero refund, meaning you get that extra money distributed evenly across each paycheck throughout the year. Then automate that additional monthly amount directly into an investment account. You never see it, you never touch it, it never triggers the windfall psychology because there is no windfall. There's just a quiet, boring, powerful system that builds wealth in the background while you live your life. The bigger picture. Your financial life is not a series of separate events. It's one continuous story. Every dollar is a character in that story, and every character has a role to play. When you assign some dollars the role of serious money and others the role of fun money based purely on how they arrived, you're writing a story where the plot falls apart in the third act. Wealth is built by people who refuse to make that distinction, who look at every dollar, earned or returned, expected or surprising, and ask the same question: what is the highest and best use of this resource right now? So here's your homework. Pull up your last tax return. If your refund was over $1,000, update your W-4 this week. Give yourself a raise. And if you have a bonus coming later this year, write down right now, before it arrives, exactly where that money's going. Make the plan before the dopamine hits. Commit to it in writing. Stop being surprised by your own money. Start being intentional with it. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your next windfall going to do for your future instead of your present? Let's talk about it. I'm Phil. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.